In less than 10 minutes, I'm going to help you understand exactly why lack of self worth is one of the deadliest and mother of all forms of betrayal. You see, that wound called lack of self worth, when it is not addressed, I kid you not, your whole life will be a life lived as if you're a puppet, being stringed along, you just dancing along to the tune of that wound saying, do this, do this, do this. Toxic relationships, codependency, betraying other people, self loathing, indulging in materialism, trying to find your worth from other people and things. All of those problems are branching out from that one wound, which is lack of self worth. But where does it come from? Think about it. When people are constantly in this chase of love, I need to just be picked, I need to just have a relationship, all of those things, chasing after the next high. You get a job, you want a better one immediately, and another one. You get a promotion, you want another one, and you don't feel good. Like you think that when I'll reach this milestone, then I'm going to feel good about myself, then I'm going to feel worthy, and then you realize, I feel the same way. Maybe I should get another promotion. Maybe I should be in another relationship. Maybe I should be in this. Maybe I should go to this country. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should have babies. Maybe I should do this. It never ends. Guys, you end up scamming yourself in your own life by pursuing all kinds of things that you assume are going to give you that feeling that you're looking for, which is, I'm worthy. That is the feeling that people are looking for. I'm worthy. When someone is constantly chasing after impossible people, what are they looking for? It's that feeling that I'm worthy. I managed to get that person who's impossible. It all comes from that core wound of not feeling like you are good enough, not loving yourself, not feeling worthy. So unless that wound is addressed, you will not be able to do anything that is right for yourself, and you will not be able to retain good things in your life. Instead, they just come and go, because nothing will be able to save you from yourself unless you address that core wound, which is, I actually don't have self-worth. People that end up being serial daters, what are they looking for? If it was beauty, we would say, okay, fine, but she was beautiful, why did you leave her? But they convince themselves, I just want a beautiful girl. She needs to be beautiful. And then they get the beautiful girl. And then they mess up the beautiful girl. And then they go to the next girl and the next girl. So what are they looking for? Isn't that madness? When we do not pause to actually analyze, why do I do what I do? Why do I do what I do? We end up repeating the same patterns. If you've not watched my video yet about history will repeat itself unless you break the pattern, please watch it. I'll link it at the end of this video. Guys, this is a serious problem, a crisis that our species is facing. People feel unworthy because we're coming from backgrounds where parents bring about babies into this world when they have so many wounds that are not addressed. And as a result, they just pass on those wounds to the children and end up acting recklessly around their children. And children end up adopting these interpretations of, oh, my mom neglected me, whether it's physically or emotionally, because I'm not worthy. So that child, because they were neglected when they were young, they start to believe that I'm not worthy. So what do? In their life, they just look for people with the same characteristics as their parents and try to win that love that they never got to win when they were young. So they keep attracting people who resemble the same patterns that they experienced in childhood. Toxic people. When somebody treats you well, you question it, you test it, and you think, what is this now? Right? You run away from it because you have become so accustomed to believing that I'm not enough as I am. I'm not lovable as I am. Right? So when that wound is not addressed, that is when people start to act in very, very unhealthy ways, both to themselves and other people. You become a danger to yourself and other people when you have not addressed the core wound of self-worth. I'll give you an example. If being rich and famous really made people happy, then why is it that most of the celebrities that we know of, actually they live very miserable lives? They're very unhappy people. Why? There's something that was not addressed that needed to be addressed, which was internal. But instead of looking inwardly, what we end up doing as humanity is to externalize our situations. If I don't feel okay, then I think, okay, maybe I should just get I need a nicer car. If I get a nicer car, then everybody's going to respect me. Everybody's going to look at me a different way. La, la, la. It never ends. Once you get that car, you want the next one and the next one, and it never ends. Why do you think Apple is doing so well? It's not just because their phones perform really well, it's because of the image that's associated with having an iPhone, right? Apple products. When you see with that product with the Apple thing, then you really feel like, now they must look at me like I'm really, I'm really something. Your worth is now attached to that phone, a phone. Do you see how ridiculous this is? We now end up unhealthily relying on external products just to feel worthy. And once that phone has been phased out, you're up to the next one. And the market thrives because they feed on your insecurities. This is real, guys. This is real. We need to wake up. We need to wake up. And the thing is, when you, for example, let me talk about romantic relationships. I am a ghostwriter, so I read a lot of self-help books. I've written over 100 books regarding this topic. So I know what I'm talking about, okay? It's crazy, right? A lot of problems that come out of relationships are just spurning from that issue of lack of self-worth. I'll give an example of narcissists. A narcissist is someone that does not have self-worth. They hate themselves. So what do? They create a false image of who they are. And then they promote that image and try to convince everyone that this is me. Anyone that opposes that image that they're trying to convey and deceive everyone to say that this is me, that person becomes the target and they despise that person, right? So they start to live this life of constantly seeking for praise, constantly seeking for validation. They want a supply. All of that is coming from lack of self-worth. They hate themselves. So instead of actually facing themselves and deconstructing the negative core beliefs that they have about themselves and starting to incrementally develop a healthy version of themselves, an authentic version of themselves, and showing that to themselves and the rest of the world, they just focus on reinforcing and building upon that fake image until you try to convince the whole world that that is you. And because you are betraying yourself, you will be unable to actually stay loyal to other people. You end up betraying other people too because you are accustomed to self-betrayal. So how can you be faithful to other people when all you do all day, all night long is betray yourself? So that is why narcissists can never be loyal to anybody because they can't even do that for themselves. Why would you expect them to do that for you? They can't love themselves. Why do you expect them to be able to love you? Do you see where the problem of self-worth can really span into all kinds of really malignant situations? So guys, when you find yourself in this cycle of constantly looking for the next thing, or maybe if I just get this person, if I just get this job, if I just go to this country, if I just get this clothing, if I just get this and that, if you find yourself in that cycle, please stop. Just stop. All you need to do is look inward and actually address the core beliefs that you have that make you believe so many negative things about yourself, such that you end up having low self-worth. So when we unlearn what we learned about ourselves, which was wrong when growing up, that is when we'll be able to start loving ourselves. And naturally, people that love themselves can also love other people. People that are loyal and true to themselves are able to be loyal and true to other people. So now you see, what you were looking for is actually just connecting to the real you, connecting to your true worth. And that you're not going to get by continuing to dose yourself with all kinds of, all these fake things that people use to lie to themselves that, okay, this is how I can increase my worth. You don't increase your worth by dating the best girl in the city. You don't increase your worth by buying the best car, getting the best job. All of those things shouldn't be what we rely on to feel good about ourselves. But surprisingly, this generation is drowning in that deception. And until we wake up, we'll keep on being puppets, and we'll be tempted to go to the next thing until, you get all these things, you get so exhausted and you realize, I still feel crappy about myself. So what we need to do is to understand that we have to really rewire our paradigm. We have to change the way we look at ourselves, change the way we look at everything, change the way we view life, really and truly. And as you can see, I'm so happy that you stayed with me this far. I'm so grateful. I hope that you can think really deeply about this topic. I'm going to come back with a part 2 and I'll break it down so nicely and speak about codependency and how it's also linked to this.